10. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call, your weekly Star Citizen podcast with myself, SaltEMike Croncy, where we talk about Star Citizen and what's going on, and then open up our Discord to you guys. That's the call portion of the show. And I believe there's some open spots, so if you guys want to get in, now's a good time. One thing I didn't discuss with you beforehand, Croncy, because we usually go about what's going on in our lives. I have a hockey game I have 2 hockey games in a row fairly early today.
Jesus.
So if we can end early, it would be very nice to not have to rush to that game. So that would be cool. But we don't have to end super early.
Yeah.
But I also don't think really anything significant happened this week.
Yeah, I think there's some fun things to talk about, but it's also like, even with like Evo, it's very short. There's stuff to talk about in that. Like there's it's a lot of short stuff, I think.
So
just dense amounts of short stuff.
What has been going on with you?
I did a cool thing this week, but unfortunately it meant that I couldn't do a Star Citizen thing. So there was supposed to be a thing last night that for those that were watching Enter Atmosphere earlier this year, the PvP tournament couldn't go ahead. There was some big problems, and so it just couldn't happen. And so it got postponed to an online tournament. That happened yesterday. Unfortunately, I got a shift working a very, very cool thing. And right now I need all the money I can get. So I wasn't able to do the Star Citizen tournament. So instead, I was doing background adminning for a huge Valorant tournament that leads into the VCT, into the actual like proper top league Valorant stuff. So I got to watch some just truly insane players play some Valorant and tell them to mute themselves correctly and troubleshoot all of their problems and stuff, which was really interesting. It was really fun.
Are they all?
So that was all this weekend.
Are they all Australian people, or are they from all around the world?
Yeah. So about a month ago, we had like a couple of LAN tournaments that seeded into a couple of online tournaments that then seeded into this.
Got it.
So after a couple of tournaments, that like we've now gotten the best of all those players. The winner today now gets to go into basically one more tournament that I believe the top 2 teams of that go to the VCT. So like big deal stuff. Like the next tournament is overseas, so will be a pretty big deal for them.
Very cool. Very cool.
That was most of my week was just doing that sort of stuff.
Nice. I heard the Atmo Esports thing went well. They actually rated me after, so it must have ended right around where my stream was yesterday. And people were saying it was the last match was like epic, and I gotta take some time to watch it. I thought the reason they rated was because you were there, but
no, I wasn't able to, unfortunately. It really sucked because I had to also abandon my team. But I was like, sorry, I need money. I can't afford to spend like 7 hours doing this tournament at the moment.
I hear that,
but it seemed like they had a good time. So
sweet. All right, so Star Citizen stuff. What do you want to start with? I feel like ship sales are probably the least interesting, so maybe getting those out of the way.
Sure.
But like also kind of cool at the same time. Yeah.
Alien Week stuff. So obviously alongside the release of the Thule and the
Raylan.
What's it called? Raylan. Thank you. We got a bunch of new paints and stuff as we tend to get around this time.
And old paints too.
Yeah.
Like you can buy all the old paints here. I wish they would spend time retro acting. Is that the right word? Like
grab some of the old paints and put them on new ships.
Yeah. Because like new ships have come out, and like I really like this paint. The Wanderer, the kind of like light purple and chrome. And how nice would it be to have on some other ships, which is cool. But yeah, what do you think of the? Which one do you want to start with? The Raylan or the Tilui, or however it's said? I don't know.
Thule.
The
Thule, because we talked about last week. Would I end up buying the Raylan? Because we did not at that time know what the second alien ship was going to be.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? I'll
guessed
probably
very wrong.
Yes. I was like, I'll probably melt my C2 and buy a Raylan. I did melt my C2. I did not buy a Raylan. I bought this ship. This is something I have wanted for so long. A snub carrier has been like my why have they not done this? It's the biggest no-brainer cool ship that they could release. Super, super into it. They did a great job in my opinion. I have been inside it and I've walked around it and stuff. I have not flown it yet. And I also haven't experienced like doing some combat mission with friends with like the craft yet. But holy crap, I am so into this. The one exception is it does look like a goatsy. Like, come on, CIG, what are you doing?
Like a what?
I'm just gonna leave it that. Just don't worry, Mike. Chat will understand.
Like an okay. I have no idea what that is, but yeah, well, I'll let that one go over my head.
At least one person understood in chat. There you go.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm lost.
Yep.
But for me, everything you said is true, not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got the appeal of snubs. And more so now than ever with the changes to like weapons and armor, where like those things can't even do damage to a lot of ships. Well, they can obviously with the right weapons, blah blah blah, but weird to me. And then
they're supposed to be essentially like a snub is supposed to be anti-fighter, realistically.
Fair,
at a lesser cost is kind of the idea. Like you obviously lose the maneuverability that you would get from having a quantum drive and stuff like that.
Or the cost
you're supposed to get the advantage and like the cost associated with refueling and all this other stuff, as well as like the safety of the carrier is supposed to be a part of it, right? Is like you can get out through the carrier if you want. I still don't think they have accurately portrayed that.
Yeah,
but
which is why it was hard for me to be excited.
Just a balancing thing.
Yeah, like it was hard for me to be excited, but there's no denying the rear of the ship is super cool. And it's my understanding that it's completely, because I haven't tried it yet, that it's completely like an EVA zone that is like working while you're flying around and everything. So you can like EVA inside the ship while the ship is flying. And while the like salvation doesn't fit, you can fit it in EVA and then EVA into it. So like when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, screw snub fighters. I don't care about them. But imagine like a crew of salvagers and a bunch of salvations. And then you have that 96 SU of cargo to like have your little salvage operation, and this be the mothership. It's the first like mothership feel that feels like a mothership. It's very, very cool. Obviously, this track is interesting.
It's the first carrier. We haven't really had a carrier. The closest thing I remember, like back
Idris
in the day,
and stuff,
Xeno threat or something. Yeah, true. Actually,
but those don't count.
But like, nothing like this size. And like I remember, like back in the day, getting the C2 and just putting a bunch of Merlins and stuff in there and trying to get that to work as a carrier. And this kind of gives me the vibe of that, except it works. Well, yeah,
like it being
with bugs. Yeah.
It being at the rear, I'm assuming you've tried this, because like the biggest problem with every ship that can carry other ships is the way you tend to leave it. You will desync into the ship and either die or blow up that ship. Where this very much seems to be set up to allow you to leave it, probably not join it while the ship is moving, but leave it while the ship is moving and be effective.
Literally in that shot, they try that.
Yeah.
Just realistically, I don't think that's going to work unless they do a crazy physics rework in the game.
Yeah, or just like desync, which maybe we'll talk about later with SCL, because they did address some of that. But yeah, so like that's that dream of the carrier thing that all these ships could have been, but just like the way the door was placed or whatever, just never truly did it. But since this is on the rear and the ship is moving one way and you just kind of leave it, it makes for so many less issues that this is the first one that might actually work. So someone in chat goes, "We never see the outtakes of these videos." It's like that would be a good episode of all the mistakes and ships exploding. Of the commercials. I would love to see that. But yeah, overall, not super interested in this, but not saying nothing bad about it. It is very, very cool.
Yeah. And I am way into it. Very keen to do like TSG with this as well, get a couple of people in snubs and run that, and then you can also use it as the cargo ship for later. So
Neat.
yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, and then I used the Railin.
Okay, cool.
So I ended up getting that. Where is the Railin?
It truly does just feel enormous in game, which I love.
It's very big.
I love how big it feels. Yeah.
And yeah, the tractor beams were nice to work with. If I used a dedicated tractor beam on the outside, everything is super close together. It was very nice to play with. So all my previous thoughts last week about like, is this the best cargo ship? I think it is. Like in its class, of course. Yeah, I think it is. I really don't have anything bad to say about it. From that standpoint. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. But I just haven't swapped it over to try the Tilui or however it's said. So not much to add on that, but we can talk about price. We nailed the price of the Railin, or at least I didn't, but I think we were both in agreement of about 400, and that's what it ended up being for store credit. 360 without, and then the other ship was a little pricier at 385 and 425,
because that's what I spent store cred wise. Yeah,
there you go. 385 and 425. So very, very expensive, I think, for what they do, even because then you also need other ships for it and so on and so forth. But
it's about equivalent to other ships of a similar size. So the C2 that I melted was I think 375 store cred, something like that. So roughly in the same ballpark.
Yeah, just can't.
Still too expensive, but all the ships are too expensive.
Everything is too expensive, exactly. Yeah. So even the starter ships are probably too expensive to some extent. But it definitely got hit with the post concept jump because it was about 225 before concept, I believe. So that is a fairly big jump. All right, other things that are like similar. Do we go roadmap roundup next, or do we go something like Ollie, which is totally out there?
Let's do Ollie. It happened a little earlier in the week. So for those who don't know, Ollie34 is a very popular, mostly YouTuber, but also does some streaming for Star Citizen. He's been doing it for quite a few years. One of the more popular players in the space in terms of like viewers of his videos. Revealed that he is going to be working at CIG. I forget what the title is, but essentially
content manager.
Content manager. He'll be working underneath Jared.
Yep.
Which I will say, my first reaction was like, okay, interesting. I like a lot of Ollie's content generally. And I think he is content brained enough to help a lot with like some of these content droughts we end up having, some of the issues we've talked about in the past of like CIG can probably like produce more than they're doing. And so I feel like he can probably be the kind of person that can push for that. So I'm curious to see what happens to content going forward. My understanding is he starts like tomorrow. So probably still a couple of weeks to a couple of months before we see much of a change, if anything.
Yeah, and the big thing here is Jared has moved into, because like I just saw somebody in chat say marketing inbound, like he's gonna be the marketing guy, but I think it's my understanding that Jared is sort of moving way more into a marketing role. It's things that he said publicly, and you have Ollie who's able to help on the content side of things, so he doesn't have to do that anymore. I think Jared's going to still host. Listen, I can't imagine the shoots take very long unless he's a, super perfectionist about things, or he just makes lots of mistakes, like some people might, like with the scripts and stuff. But I use a teleprompter, and I don't know what you guys think. If like Weekend Review is fairly decent, I almost never have to do a second take. Teleprompters are really easy to use. So if you have somebody writing the script, this guy or others, then you don't really have to. You just have to show up and do the host. I think a lot of people are thinking that he's going to replace him. And I was saying it before the show, Jared's not that old, guys. Retirement age is like very old now. You don't retire at Jared's age. You leave and you do something else.
Period anymore.
Yeah, we don't retire anymore. So And I don't think he's in a different situation than that, for reasons like super parasocial reasons that I'm not going to say, like things that I've noticed in videos and stuff. Like, he's not fucking rich, okay? And nobody's getting rich working at CIG except for people like Chris and above, or Chris and just below, I should say. But the idea here, I think, is he is moving into a different role, and Ollie could take over, but Jared's not retiring. That's crazy.
Yeah, no.
But I think that's what they mean. They mean that he like moves on to something else.
Yeah. I think exactly like what you're saying, where it's just like probably just organizing with like organizing members of staff to join for different SCLs and ISCs and writing scripts for certain bits of content. And then, like I said, hopefully coming up with new types of content for them to also produce would be where I imagine his job is going to be.
Yeah, like I wanna give him the benefit of the doubt, but knowing Jared, he's kind of a little bit of an egomaniac, likes to be on camera and thinks he's right with everything, if you can't tell from SCL. And
sorry, you're describing every content creator? That's crazy.
Yes, but Jared's pretty fucking bad, dude. Jared's pretty bad with this shit. And the like part of me wants to think that it's like, all right, I'm getting stale, or my idea, like maybe not that way, because I don't think he's getting stale. I think the game has gotten stale and makes his job more difficult, but I think fresh ideas is never a bad thing, and I want to think that he had that idea, but I think it's way more along the lines of, I want to shift more into this probably better paying marketing role, and then have Ollie start doing more of the content stuff. But I don't think Jared's going to give up the hosting, because the man loves the camera way too much.
There also is like there's some other important things to keep in mind as well, where it's just like, why is this role just come up now? Which, like, we'll talk a bit later, but like Squadron stuff is coming at some point. There's going to be a lot of like you're going to be responsible for doing content for 2 different types of games, going to conventions for 2 different types of games, all that sort of stuff that will probably take up some more of Jared's time, as well as other members of the content team. So like, kind of just makes sense to have that role start.
We're spending way too much time on this too, but it's kind of interesting and fun to talk about. The whole other idea here is that Jared set out at the end of last year or the beginning of this year saying, we're going to make a video every week. And then we've seen what's happened in the last like 2 months, right? He has not been making a video every week. So he may have attempted to, or thought that he could, and then realized that he couldn't based on the role that he's taken on and whatever he's doing outside of the hosting of these shows. So the role might have showed up just because it was like, damn, I tried, but fuck guys, I need help. You know, and that's that. And that's cool. And I really like Ollie. My community is not huge on this tire because he's super positive, and I think they're delusional in thinking that somebody will go there like myself and expose the secrets and truths of all the things. You know, it's like, guys, and we'll get into more of that bullshit later. But that is such a stupid take to have. They're going to hire people that are going to help them be successful, not help them expose lies or something that they've made.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Like,
a lot of Ollie's content is obviously very positive towards CIG. I think it does step just before like glazing. It's kind of in that perfect thing of like, it feels authentic and is enjoyable enough for people who already play the game, but then also like newer players. So it makes sense that they would excuse me, that they would go that route. But obviously we also have no idea who else was up for the role. So
all right, and this is also something that I think a lot of people don't know, but I think it's really, really important that people do understand, because most of you guys aren't content creators, and even the ones that are most likely do not have that much experience with sponsorships. Ollie took a sponsorship deal with the Impound, which is a third-party ship-selling website, and probably not the best choice. Okay. Yeah. And I talked about it publicly on stream. I think it ended up in a YouTube video at some point, and I talked about it with him personally. And then I reached out to him a while ago, and like told him about my agency and blah 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 blah, and they ended up working with him, and he messaged me and was like, I cut all ties with the impound and all that stuff, and I thank you for helping me and my family out or whatever. And it's like, all cool, but why I'm bringing this up is because the impound still has commercials apparently with him in it. So sometimes they'll watch YouTube videos and you'll see him. That's unfortunately, when you do sponsorship deals, there's a limited time period usually. If you're an idiot, sometimes it's permanent, like for the rest of your life, where they have that likeness of you that they can use for advertising and things like that. So this will go on for a period of time, unfortunately for him, and there's nothing he could do about a deal that he made prior to this with, maybe not understanding the impact that it would have or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if you see that commercial, please don't be an idiot and do some research on how these things actually work. He doesn't have he's not getting paid for that commercial still, and he is not doesn't have a say whether or not they do it. So keep that in mind. It no longer has anything to do with him, and he had cut ties with them and did all the right things. If you're upset about him about it, so yeah. Ollie's a really good guy, and I think out of all the people I could think of, I'm not sure there's a better fit. So, yeah, that's all I want to say. So I just want to come to his defense a little bit there, because I am uniquely in the position to explain why you may see those things and how it works. He has no choice in the matter. So don't give somebody who has no choice in the matter anymore, at least, any hate for something that they did in the past. Kind of cringe and stupid to do that. But yeah, all right, let's move on from that. But excited to see what comes of that. And in the end, hopefully it's more cool Star Citizen videos and shit to talk about, man. Thursday, it was my favorite time of the week every week. And for the last 2 years, it sucks. So I'm excited. You want to go roadmap next?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. I'm just going to skip 4.8 because it's just the ships that we already talked about.
Stuff we know about.
Yes. First thing, item recovery. Very vague. Don't know what's going to change here outside of the free recovery option when you accidentally crash your ship, but that was in a patch already, I think. Like, we already have that, possibly. Because this isn't the first time I've seen this. Or it was mentioned in a post by Niku, maybe? It was mentioned before this post, but I just can't remember when it was. The Ninetales armor update. Have you seen it?
No, I didn't get to see any Ninetales. The missions I've done in Evo so far have all been like ship missions.
Well, no. We have the images from the roadmap. You want me to show them?
Oh, right. Oh, yes. Oh my god.
You just seeing them now?
Yeah.
So, like,
Those
not
are sick.
Yeah, not super far off from what they had. Like, the Ninetales were more this like Bushido kind of theme, right? But they've taken it to a level that's like really cyberpunky and badass. So yeah, really like this. Super cool.
Damn, I love the art, like the artwork on the super heavy armor.
Yeah, it's like a tattoo almost.
Yeah, that looks sick as hell.
Hell yeah, right? I don't know if you want anything to add, because this appears to be like heavy, maybe medium. There's no heavy.
Medium, I believe. Yeah. No, just well, there might be other ones, obviously. Like, I imagine it's not just these 3 armors, especially because the first 2 are the same helmet, basically. And then they just are the same helmet. And then, I imagine there's more to it. So Siege is not currently on the PTU, but I imagine similar to when we first got Siege and we had the the lieutenant armors that were like unique Ninetales, I imagine we'll get stuff like that too. This super heavy one is probably a lieutenant armor, I would imagine.
Yeah. For the actual Siege, which maybe we get, maybe we don't. We'll see. The next thing was, if you're ready to move on, I apologize.
Yeah, go for it.
Next thing was I think
bullpup.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the image off the screen. There we go. The bullpup rifle, which we do have an image of that, and the image is actually omega relevant to what it can do.
Ah,
Yeah. So we now know it's not full auto; it's either burst or semi-auto. There you go.
that's okay. I don't know a lot about guns, but every time I've played like an FPS and there's been like a bullpup type weapon, it usually is like burst.
Yeah, maybe.
Burst
I don't
weapon,
know. I
right?
don't know
So
anything about
that's
guns
pretty
either.
normal, I assume. But cool. I imagine this will be a weapon people will be keen on.
Sure. Next thing I think is a good idea, but also just so weird, not Star Citizen like at all. But like, what are they supposed to do?
Yep.
Around all of these bombs and missiles is like this invisible square that like, so like things would stack, but they would be floating. So this is their solution for that, is that when you snap something magically out of nowhere, which is so not Star Citizen like to do, which is like the surprising part, is like this cage goes around it, but it looks so much better. So for me, it's like a good solution. If
they
temporary or not, doesn't matter.
Me actively put them into the boxes, I would riot. someone, yes, someone's already in chat. My immersion, as a joke, of course, but like, if they made me do that individually, holy crap, I would just never use missiles again in my life.
Okay,
so, yeah, it's good.
I disagree. I agree, but disagree. It's if they make me do it with a tractor beam, I would lose my mind. But
sure.
Why do we have such bad inventory systems where we have to do these things via tractor beams and we're not setting them up before we ever pull it up the freight elevator, right? Like, that's the part for me where it's like the manual part can go away. And if I managed everything with like a very simple inventory UI to work with, where I have the mount or cage or box or whatever, and then I place, 5 missiles in here, and then I bring it up the freight elevator and put it in my ship, or I load it in my ship in the UI, and then I spawn my ship with those things. I would not be. I would be. It would be way more immersive than this stupid shit that they've been doing. So yeah, that's where I am at with that. Like, can we not do any of this, and can we do a good inventory system, please? Please, for the love of God. Please, better inventory. And then all of these kind of stupid things go away. Most of them, at least. But yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, Croncy. Appreciate you being here.
And then the last thing, as always, is hairstyles, which pretty much every patch now.
My hairstyle.
But sure.
Like, basically, exactly. Balding on one side, not on the other. Comb it over. Yep. You'll be there. You'll be there one day.
Nah.
You're too young.
Never.
Well, maybe not. Maybe your family doesn't have any. But I saw a picture of my grandfather that passed away a couple of years ago. Identical. Yeah. So I'm cooked. I'm cooked. And I'll never take anything for that. I find that to be weird. It is what it is. What is next?
Because it brushed on 4.9, talk a little bit about Evo. How much Evo have you done?
Zero Evo.
Nice.
Don't care.
I did an hour. So I'll touch on just a couple of the things that are in there, because it is there's a lot of info, but it's a little light at the moment, because there's not like proper new content other than like there's a lot of copy content of stuff that we already have. So first off, we are getting an event for 4.9, and it is essentially the release of Siege as well. Well, the event is in Evo and is working. It is another version of the progress tracker, like get to 15%, get 30%, blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. Is this Siege related or no?
It is Siege related. In that it is about it's about the Nine Tails sieging Orison.
Okay.
So it doesn't as well. So Siege itself is not in the PTU right now. But there are a bunch of these new missions that are in the PTU. They all talk about the Siege of Orison, and they're all related to it in that, like, some of them are like, Nine Tails are operating above Daymar as they come in and deliver resources to Siege, so go and kill them, right? Or, hey, we need a bunch more medicals. Yeah, a bunch of side mission type stuff. Hey, we need a bunch more medical supplies. Go and get them.
Okay.
The biggest one I want to mention um, is there's new craftable items that are purely for mission rewards. They are
Whoa.
called like TB01 propulsors or something like that. They are the things that let the platforms stay like above in Orison. And the idea is that like because they're sieging Orison, like these platforms are starting to fail and blah blah blah. So like, hey, we need you to go and craft these things and then bring them to us, and that's the mission reward. That is cool as hell. I did not unfortunately see what they required or anything like that. So if anyone in chat who has done Evo, please call us today and let us know like a little
16
bit of
SCU of
information about
900 plus titanium. So
that.
CU,
Yeah.
siege was sieged.
Exactly right. You can
Orison
see
was
where the
sieged.
problems may come possibly. So hopefully it's nothing too insane.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a cool concept. Obviously, is like cool. You're bringing crafting into a more active part of like events and stuff like that. So that's sweet.
Yeah. That's the, yeah. I didn't touch it because I don't care. Like I'm struggling with the 4.9 or even 4.8 exciting me right now. Like the thing I'm just waiting for is what from the feedback that they've gained in 4.8 are they going to address like mining issues or anything like that in there?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm more like, if they fixed and adjusted that stuff, all the things listed on the roadmap is just like secondary to me. So when they start talking about those things, which is more wave 1 and those areas, then you can get me excited. But I just wasn't motivated to give it a try. I just wasn't.
I was, if I had known that Siege itself was not actually in the current patch, I probably wouldn't have like reinstalled it and stuff and gone in. Because that's where my thing is for, is like I am all about the return of Siege. I am all about the instancing of Siege and whatnot. But it was still kind of worth it. I got to see all this other stuff. Also as part of that, like we've got a new like mission giver, like with all the animations and stuff that keeps talking to us. Not like a go to in-person mission giver, more like a ghillie or whatever.
Yeah. Camera.
There is, as of like, today's patch or whatever, or yesterday's patch, whenever it came out, there is a new kind of starting location for Siege. Like there's a new small platform. The elevators in it don't work. So you just get there and you can't do anything yet, but there's more set dressing of like, how at the top of the centaur, there's like a bunch of people that are dead and like on gurneys and all this sort of stuff. Like a little bit more of that set dressing, as well as with a map of Siege itself. Presumably this is to stop, well, it's probably to do a couple of things. It's probably easier to transition people into an instance through an elevator, where you can kind of hide maybe like weird graphical popping in things or anything like that happen, rather than coming through with a tram. As well as, if you all remember, the absolute mess sometimes that Siege of Orison would be, where you come out of the tram and then just immediately get a grenade launched. That was always a problem, right? So this probably solves some of those problems as well.
Sure.
So we'll end up seeing what happens with that. And then like there was a ton of stuff and whatnot in the patch notes and whatever. One of the biggest things was rebalancing to refueling. To fuel, not refueling itself.
Yeah,
so tons of ships got extra, tons of ships got less. Big rebalance.
Yeah, and this was there was a tech preview for instancing that happened early in the week, and that was in there, and it appeared to like be a mistake because there are some idiotic choices in my opinion in there, just like insanely stupid and bad. Like if you ever fly in Pyro with a single seater, like GG, dude, you're done. Like you got to have a big ship now. So it's like I'm not sure I understand the choices.
No idea. But it's usually when you have these choices in an Evo build, it's not really something to get worked up over. It's more just like, all right, well they're clearly pressing numbers on fuel, so they want to do something.
Yeah, like here's something mentioned in chat just to give you a reference of like how goofy and weird this is. The stock Gladius has a 33 gigameter range, which means you can't get to Microtech from Orison.
which in my opinion is fine. That's what the Gladius should be like.
Yes, because they play the game on paper,
Yeah.
and so are you right now, right?
Yeah.
But in reality, is that fine? Right? They're like, if we're gonna transition to SCL, now might be a good time because they talked a lot about,
Mhm.
We got to make sure we fix all these bugs for new players. How about that as like a general experience for new players? It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So, that they're gonna start with a small ship, and
Mhm.
what? And then
Yeah.
I can't even use the refueling beacon because I
Mhm.
can't dock to the ship anymore. It's not
Yeah.
working. So if the refueling beacon is there, is this a big deal? No. But
These are some of the best
the refueling
software development.
the refueling beacon feels like a band-aid to a lot of other problems with things.
I don't know if it's necessarily a band-aid. What I would say is like, once again, this change isn't something to get like too crazy over because it's probably all going to change again. But this is like another case of like you're balancing for features that frequently bug out, and you just can't do
good
that.
point.
You like you can do it in theory. That's fine, but until that feature is consistently working, you just cannot balance based on that.
Yeah, like consistently working is the best way to describe it because it doesn't necessarily even have to be bugs. Because like when you say like that is what the Gladius should be, of course, because the Gladius is like a carrier-based ship. But not everybody has a carrier. It's not easily accessible. When you do have a carrier, we talked about like how leaving the ship and coming back to it, like there's all sorts of problems with these things. So it's just a very, of all the things that you're going to take time to balance, that would be my question. Why this? It makes no sense at the moment. Because like I was very much telling people on Monday and Tuesday to calm down. There's no way this is a change that's on purpose. And then it was. And it's just like, wait, like this is why I am the way I am. Because you're just, how much time did that take you? And if it took more than 5 minutes, you are wasting money and you're wasting time and you're wasting energy on things that just aren't important, that you could have been working on something else.
I still think it is important to like balance this on paper now, like as in like, all right, cool, we've implemented this feature. It's not working very consistently, but from the ones that are working, we now know how players interact with the system. We can start to think about how we want to balance this. Do not implement it immediately. That's my problem, is like cool, you are going to do more harm than good by doing it right now.
What you're saying is it doesn't need to be forward facing to us, I'm assuming, like just
it just
internally?
doesn't like it. I want them to think about it and I want them to concept it now because it makes sense, because you just worked on it. But implementation is a different beast.
Fair.
Implementation is going to make it a worse experience.
Can I counter you a little bit? The thing that I'm really getting frustrated with by them is they've made a decision 10 years ago that certain, this is the way Star Citizen is. And instead of them trying to balance something that isn't a great and fun experience like quantum travel right now, I would rather them spend their time and effort not balancing the crappy experience that they have to attempt to make it better, but maybe think of something better and do that better thing. That is likely a extremely ignorant thing to say, because the effort that it might take to put in to fix that, to change it, and because it's like an underlying very core thing that has existed in the game forever. What would pulling that thing out be? But I think quantum travel, period, from its core, is the worst experience in the game for anybody.
But
it
for
is
sure, 100%.
so stupid. So unless you cut it down to 1 to 2 minutes, it's the worst.
Yeah, I think it's
just a piss break.
There's a thing as well in there of like that counters what I said of like, yeah, you're balancing this now, but you're also probably going to have to do major rebalancing of this when you finally bring in quantum boosting and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it's so like, why do it now?
You can leave. Money still doesn't matter to us right now. The experience of quantum travel sucks, but it is at least at a point right this second where it is tolerable. Just leave it tolerable until you get to this point where you can Like you now have those systems in place.
It's
You're probably
endless
at the state
fiddling.
of like, now we're done. What do we do?
They endlessly fiddle and then never actually bring core mechanics into the game. It's so annoying. It's so annoying to me. And I know probably why is that the people who are doing the fiddling are not the people that bring the features to life and make them happen, right? So what is that guy going to do? He's got nothing else to do. He's waiting. He's got nothing to do. So he's going to fiddle. And then the fiddling is like, are you just doing that thing where you're trying to make yourself seem relevant where it currently isn't because there's other problems in the company? Like, not that that person should be fired. No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. It's they need to fix that other aspect of, well, we need to get those features in kind of thing so this person can do their thing. That's what they're here, that they were here to do. But that's all speculation. Once again, stupid conversation to have. In the end,
and also, like I said, fueling. It's this is Evo patch. It's probably fine. We'll talk also, about it when if it actually goes to the.
We've talked about
ones and stuff.
Refueling as a gameplay mechanic not being fun at all too. So if you're balancing to try to make that fun, maybe you need to relook at the mechanic altogether, similar to the quantum travel thing. And that's where my frustrations lie. Is you have had the time to realize that these are maybe not the best implementations of things, and you got $1 billion to do the best. So that's my thing here is you guys have lots of money and have this incredibly supportive community. Do right by them and try to do the best instead of band-aiding everything and doing just enough to have Chris Roberts sign off on it. Kind of getting old and tired of that shit. SCL?
Yeah, so
I don't have a whole lot to say about this. This episode was basically torture.
So I have a question. So I've seen the summary. I saw that it was a 2-hour-long one, and I was like, no. Yeah. So I've seen the summary, and most of what I got from the summary, which also just shout out Nick Al for like every week during SELs sending summaries out to all the people and stuff. It's dope.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's Mike. It's because you're not cool enough. No, Nick House set up this like Discord like 2 or 3. How long has he been there? It's been there for a while. He set it up years ago.
Oh, we closed it. It was too spammy. We took it out of our Discord. It just posts
all this stuff.
Got it.
And then
because he DMs sometimes too. He DMs sometimes too. I thought it was a DM. But
and every post starts with "Don't tell Mike about this post." Anyway,
I don't need to. I watch it myself.
So most of the SEL, at least from the summary, just seems like, hey, we acknowledge all of these problems.
So this was like, I need to give you some context here because you didn't watch it. Like Jared's posture and all these things, it seemed
I've been hearing so much about like Jared's reaction to this.
It seemed very performative to me. Like all of this was very performative. Because it felt, because the community keeps saying things like this is as bad as 3.18 or blah 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 blah, and they dropped a patch and it didn't work out and it was a mess again. And was it performative, or are they actually like that embarrassed and frustrated and things like that? I don't know. Who cares? But we do know Benoit was up until 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever, trying to fix those things. So like obviously they care and things like that, because that was some of the arguments that were made during the show, is like, oh, these guys don't care because look at them. And he's like, dude, he stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course he cares. But it was like at the beginning, they spent half an hour being like, oh, you know, we're so sorry and the reasons why this happened and all this stuff. Like, dude, you did a downtime and the patch was a mess for like a couple hours. Why don't we have this attitude towards the state of the current game all the time? Because it's always bad. It's always a mess. Like this. That's why I was like, it kind of felt performative. Like the game is always this bad, guys. You always have these problems. So this is like not a new thing. I didn't get the general attitude that was being had here. Is what I was really weird about at the beginning, is they were like, you know, like, oh, we feel just as bad as you guys do. And it's like, yes, but in a different way, probably. Like Ben's probably just like, God damn it. Because they at the beginning they said why it happened, which points to who made the mistake, and like it was basically implying that it's like a fairly stupid mistake in a way. So sort of throwing somebody on the ship team under the bus. And then Jared comes in and is like, we're not throwing the ship team under the bus, but they like kind of did. And but then Benoit went more along the lines of, we need to create something so these people can't make these mistakes anymore. So that was what the initial discussion was. We're like, we need to put guardrails on and not allow these people to make these mistakes. But we also need to not make these mistakes, was like sort of what the first like half of the show was. Because like if people don't really realize, this is my understanding of things. We that's so cringe. Star Citizen bought Turbulent.
Yeah.
Not because they made a really good website, because of this guy and how important he is to changing the culture of this company and the way things have been from a technical standpoint on how they do things. He is going to kind of flip the tables over and teach this company how to run how we would like it to, probably. And that's going to take some time. And you could see the frustrations of like, you guys know better because I told you to know better, and you still did it wrong. And that's to me, I'm like, okay, that's okay. It was very, it was very open. It felt very honest. It felt very like cool, like for them to do that, even though unfortunately somebody's taking the heat for it. But that was like the beginning of it, was just we need to fix some things. And they mentioned like machine checks, and people were like, AI in Star Citizen. No, like it's like the game just recognizes like they made a change that's kind of crazy and weird, and then says, whoa, you got to have somebody check that before you do that. That's all. That's not AI, I don't think, the way they were doing it. But they were basically like, me, Benoit, and the people just below me cannot babysit everybody to make sure they don't make a little mistake like this, and we need help with that. So we need to develop those features to be able to not experience a shitty bunch of crashes after a downtime or something like they did when all they did was release 2 ships. Like this should not have been a rough start. So felt a little performative, but also probably pretty honest and truthful of like, again, like, come on, like that's also sort of how they felt. Okay, I will switch screens for a little bit so I can move my notes off of the screen that we were on. And then because there were some, much more relevant discussions, in my opinion, that were had on the show. Let's see. One thing was like Benoit said, we don't want to structure our servers like a traditional MMO, which is like you say, sure, but the last real discussion that we had about the way the servers would be structured was like, you would choose US server 100, and that's where you would live. And he's basically saying, nope, we're not going to do that. So it was more vague, but kind of implies the idea of having like when Chris Roberts said, remember when he was in Australia and said 10,000 people on a shard?
Yeah.
So there might be 10,000 people in your shard that are sort of being affected by the people that are there, but it also sounds like we're going to be very separate from each other as well. So that was like a little interesting tidbit that he had that you have to read into to think about that. And then, I
mean, it also it just goes back to the thing. Like, so in other MMOs, servers would literally be a server. Sometimes
have a
a literal chip.
It would
right?
be
Like
Croncy,
there was the ones where it's like
Croncy
they
server.
would sell the like WoW classic ones, like the original like classic WoW ones and stuff like that. And they've mentioned a bunch of times that they want to make it so that like there is some there's like more availability of cross play and ways that you can interact with basically more people without having to do a crazy load time
Yep.
or have to submit something on the website. So I don't think it definitely doesn't like
It has its pluses and minuses.
change. It has its pluses and minuses, but it
Yeah.
also this is not something they haven't said, I guess.
Exactly.
Like,
But it's
yeah, this is what I'm expecting.
I was hoping it was closer to the WoW idea, but still what they've said. I was hoping like we pick our shard that we live on and we influence that one. And hopefully there are only a few and that they're very large. So it sounds like that's what they're doing, but we might be like more separated and disconnected than we would hope because limitations are real. Another thing that was interesting was Jared said that they're toying with the idea of sharing their concurrency numbers, like possibly on like the launcher or something. He didn't say where, and then proceeded to say said numbers, but in the cringiest, fucking stupidest way possible, which was the percentage gain from 2024 to now, month by month, and was like, we went up by 50%. Where did you have, if you went up 50% and you had 10 people playing, it's not really that big of a deal, right? It's like, obviously there's more than 10, but we don't know what number they started with, so we don't actually know how many people are playing. And he was also like, no MMO does this. Meanwhile, like lots of MMOs say their concurrency now. And like, I think he's just like, the last MMO he played was like WoW and like Star Wars Galaxies or something. And like, they just didn't do that back then. It was like,
WoW used to publish theirs in magazines.
He was saying that it was all estimates.
No, I think
WoW would publish their subscription numbers, maybe.
True, but an active subscription is because it's an active subscription is essentially a player number, right?
I imagine EVE Online has how many active subscriptions, but how many people are actively playing? It's like 5,000 real players, and then all.
This is how many people are on literally right this second.
Yeah,
this is obviously a very different number.
So it was interesting because they're toying with the idea. I think they're kind of getting pressure now because the leaks communities are starting to figure out ways to hack in and get way more information that they're hoping for them to get, it looks like. And like somebody had made some hacked ass way to figure out how many people were playing. And I don't think that number's to be trusted from me talking to other people, not at the company, just like the way they did it. And hacked is just the word that people that I think are smarter than me described how they get this information. They have like a hacked client or something. But yeah, so weird. But there was like some reasons to not trust those numbers fully.
Sure.
But yeah, so that was that. And then the last thing that I think is the most impactful thing from the show, and you could tell me if you see anything in your notes, was there's a new initiative around bugs. And it is a really, really fucking good one, I think. The player experience team has existed for 3 years minimum, maybe more. People have like come and gone from this, and I've talked to people who still are there, and I've talked to people who have left that team and have moved on to other things. And the amount of frustration that team has, because when we go, how the fuck do they not know about these bugs? They know, because the player experience team tells them. But the player experience team never had the power or priority to decide what bugs got fixed and what didn't. So you would be like, why are they fixing that random bug with that ship that nobody flies when the ironclad doesn't work, for example?
Yeah.
So now they have the player experience team in conjunction with us, the players, because that's where they get this feedback from, essentially coming up with a list of priority bugs. And a part of that list is priority bugs that affect new players in the first hour of their play session, which essentially means affects all players in the first hour of their play session, but we just know how to work around them.
Yeah.
So bugs that have workarounds are still going to get prioritized. So this initiative is, I think, significantly more impactful, possibly, like could potentially be, than
Hmm.
Chris Roberts saying this is the year of playability.
Yeah.
So big deal there. The way they're going to address, we're all complaining about the state of the game, blah 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 blah. This hopefully is an initiative that it's like your voice is not only being heard, but we're actioning your
Hmm.
experiences, which will hopefully be a much healthier experience between us and the company than we have had. Because how many times have you been like, dev comes to your channel and you go, "Do you guys know that this problem exists?" Because you just want to make sure that they know.
Yeah.
Because if they know, then it's like, all right, cool, like on you to fix it. But like we've been yelling, and it seems like you don't know. But
Mm.
no, they know. It's just like this structure, because it's such a clown show, big, all companies, when they get this big, it's very hard to manage people, right? So it's become like a bit of a shit show when it comes to that, and they're trying to fix it. So I think it's a good initiative, and fingers
Hmm.
crossed.
Yeah.
Um, and then the last thing, actually the most important thing, they are not sure about what 4.9 is going to look like anymore. And I think Jared was letting us down lightly, because if you look at the first Evo patch, there is no instancing and no Siege of Orison turned on, because I think that they're really frustrated with the current state of the game, and they're debating cutting things out of 4.9 and bringing the stability bar up a little bit before
Hmm.
bringing features in.
Yeah, I can definitely see them going like, yeah, look, for 4.9.0, no instancing, no actual siege, but you put in this event and you make that like kind of the focus of the launch of the event.
Yep.
It's got some decent content in it from what it looks like already,
Yeah, I'm
and
surprised
then
I didn't know any of that
gives you
was
that
there.
extra
So
time.
that makes me feel a lot better about the situation, all the things
Yeah,
that you found. So that's good. I don't know who would argue against them doing that, to be honest. I think it seems like a
if it
total,
needs it, it needs it. Like
yeah.
instancing is going to be a crazy thing. Do you all remember the first? I don't know if it was the first patch of instance hangers, but like one of the first ones where all we did when we walked into our hangars was hear everyone's hangar going off infinitely. You'd step anywhere and you go into 3 different ships at once, right? This is going to be a really hard one for them to get right, just because the way the engine has been made.
Yep.
So, you know, as impactful as it'll be when it eventually comes, it's probably going to need more time to cook.
Yeah. And I mean, have we experienced hangers today even? Like, they're still a
Yeah,
mess,
like it's
right?
still
So
a problem.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and he went off on that list, by the way, of all the priority fixes and like what they're
Hmm.
working on today, like freight elevators and all sorts of things that are plaguing players were on that list, and it was all things
Yeah.
that I would consider very high priority. So it was nice to see,
Hmm.
and how the episode started versus how it ended was a lot better. I think at the end, where they got out of this like apology. Oh, we're so. Oh man, it hurts me so bad that the game doesn't work, even though the game never
Yeah.
works. So I was just like, this is so goofy, Jared. Just stop.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's all I have for the week. No, I totally forgot.
Uh,
Squadron 42.
Squadron 42.
Yeah.
I messaged Mike like
You were the first
48
person to
hours
tell
ago.
me. Yeah. I found
Yeah,
out
because I
about it
saw it
through
and I'm
you.
like, wait, what the fuck? I need to tell Mike about this. What the hell? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a bunch of content creators, though notably like smaller content creators,
Yeah.
which I'll get to in a second. A
Which is
bunch of
awesome.
smaller content creators, and then a lot of like community members
Can
in
I
Star
jump in
Citizen.
1 second too? Because you
Yeah,
messaged me. I never looked at my email to even check. I never looked at
yeah,
my email
yeah.
until this morning to see if I got anything, because I knew
Yeah.
I just like it's very obvious that I'm not going to. So it was like I'm not going to check. But okay, go ahead. Because when you messaged me, I
Um,
was like, I
yeah.
probably should have checked, but I never did.
So yeah, I was one of these people. I received an email to my actual Star Citizen email as well. It wasn't to my content creator one.
That's how they do
That
it.
was
Yeah.
like, yeah. Yeah, but like normally the content creator stuff is like to my like business email. So it was interesting that it means that they went through. Well, it's relevant. Anyway, point is,
They checked
got
your
the
pledge
email.
status before emailing
um, saying like, hey, yeah, we're inviting some people to the Manchester office October 9th through 11th to check out the office, hang with the devs, and play Squadron 42.
you. Specifically said
Which is
like to
yeah,
be the first people to play Squadron 42. And the reason I think that that's important is you'll be the first, but I truly believe that um, Squadron backers or maybe even all Star Citizen backers will likely get to try whatever demo you're having. The people who went to CitizenCon got to try 4.0 a day or two before the people who ended up in the playtests later.
yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, specifically participate in the first hands-on experience with Squadron 42. Um, so first off, I have to say, screw you, CIG. Why would you put this on October 9th through 11th? My daughter's first birthday is October 10th. You guys suck ass, and I'm never playing this game again. How dare you?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not going. Obviously, it's cannot remotely afford to go, as well as I don't. That feels like such a trope of like the dad who misses his daughter's first birthday. So I was like, I'm not gonna do
And
that.
in this case, it's not to make money or do anything. It's literally to
Yeah,
like
just go play a game.
play a fucking video game that probably doesn't work that well. Like
Yeah.
it's goofy.
So anyway, so I've already responded no, and they did mention in it that if you do respond no, like they will be sending out more invites later. So
Yeah.
so more
Like
people
Zero
will get
State
invited.
didn't get one initially and then got one later on.
Yeah. I wonder if you got mine. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I think there's a couple of things to take away from this. First off, it's interesting that it was mostly smaller content creators and community members, because to me that means it's not a marketing event. If you want to get like the big eyes on and start like a big marketing push for Squadron,
This is definitely not. Yeah.
classic goes to spam.
Or he got a later one. Yeah.
Might have got a later one, right? But even then, like to not be included in like the initial release, right, is very
Mhm.
interesting. But and all that says to me is like, yeah, this is possibly a couple of things. One, it could just be a cool community thing to do because they normally do CitizenCon around that time. I'm sure a lot of devs sort of miss that kind of like engagement.
Can I
and
stop you
atmosphere.
there? This is not a community thing. So inviting just a few people and leaving like 99.9% of the community out is not a community thing. So it's something good. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but it's not a community thing because most people are going, well, I want to go there. Like you're hearing so many people go, they didn't pick me, blah blah blah. So
I still
how
think
is
that
it
counts as a
community?
community thing. You're inviting members of the community. That is literally by definition a community thing. And because it's not a
The community is bigger than a
the,
handful of people.
of course it is.
Much bigger.
That's of course it is.
Yeah.
Like what the reason why I'm saying that, like someone in chat saying it's a press thing, it's not, because it's if it was a press thing, if it was a marketing thing,
If it's
these
a press
bastard
thing, you
people
wouldn't
would
invite streamers who have like 50 viewers, dude. Like that's just
Exactly.
not a thing you would do. And that's trust me, this is not knocking on those people. When I got invited to these things, I had about 100 viewers. So it's like this is not that. And I was not even remotely close to the biggest streamer in the space.
Yeah. What I think it could be, and like some of the people in my chat sort of made me think about this as well, is like this could just be a, hey, we want to get a community reaction to Squadron, right? We want to see how do people who already are invested feel about how the game might be. Based on the email, we also don't know if it's just a demo. We don't know if it's just that first hour that
you
played at SitCon in Manchester.
Very little there.
Could be more than that. Could be less than that. Who knows?
And it's my understanding there's been no follow-up since for the people who did say they were going to go.
Yeah, no idea. So yeah, the even with all that, my biggest takeaway, and I said this to you, Mike, and we were having a little chat in Discord.
Yeah.
That day, a bunch of information was released about GTA 6. And we've talked a ton about how like all these companies need to do their release schedule around GTA, and they're all probably sitting there ready on like an enter button to hit go waiting for GTA to announce something about release date and whatnot. The fact that it happened the very day, about 12 hours after a bunch of information came out about GTA 6, that is likely leading to the fact that it is probably still releasing this year,
Yeah.
makes me think that they saw that. The team were like, all right, cool. We can hit go on like our schedule of what we
Our
want to do
start.
based on whatever date. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, this says if you're going to do the first, like people playing it for the first time in October, that information is presumably not going to be under NDA because this email wasn't under NDA. People have been talking about it for the last few days. So people will be talking about their Squadron experience in October.
Yeah.
So
everything
Gamescom
about the
announced-
events
yeah.
that I was a part of were extremely NDA.
Yeah. This sounds super public. Maybe people can't record and stuff in there, but there's no way they're not going to be allowed to talk about it. At least like the game. Maybe they probably can't talk about like the offices and stuff, but that's a different a different beast. So to me, this says Gamescom
You will
release
sign
date
an NDA when
announcement.
you go there.
Yeah, 100%.
But it won't be like
Gamescom
a very
release
big one.
date announcement is almost certain at this point. I do not think it's coming out this year still. If it does, it will have to be December. I think because they use the phrase first hands-on experience with Squadron, I'll give it 6 months after October for release. So I think we're looking at a March or April release next year.
So like if the people are saying this is a marketing event, maybe they're not entirely wrong. It's like the very start of their the getting the ball rolling. If anything,
yeah,
right?
like there's yeah. I guess it still sort of is part of it. It's just not designed for. This is not to get eyes on Squadron. Is the main thing. This is like, yeah, maybe it matters for in terms of like getting people used to the game and maybe understanding when they take it to conventions and stuff.
Yep.
How people use it. So I think that's the most telling thing of all. The fact that this is a thing at all speaks to a little bit about the release date. Some people have been saying, this is the dumbest thing, is that apparently that's the 41st week of the year. And the next week is the 42nd. And so that's the release. You guys are 100% Charlie from It's Always Sunny with the strings and stuff up on the wall. What I do think might happen is they do this, and then probably a couple of weeks to a month after, they might do some type of online, like downloadable demo. I think that's somewhat realistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, that's the other thing I see it in Twitch chat is like you could finally open up pre-orders again for people because that's something. So we might even see like a price or something like that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just want to say that I think the second stupidest thing after what you just said is don't go to bat for me. Like there's this fucking absolutely brain dead Spectrum thread of like Mike should be invited to these things. No, guys. No, I would not ever. Like, you have to put yourself in CIG's shoes. Why would you ever invite somebody who is critical of you to an event like this? It's not something, or unreasonably critical at times, like myself, right? Who has bad attitude and all that.
It's not even necessarily that. You're already entrenched in the game. Like purely from a marketing perspective, why would we like try to get you in there when you're already going to play it? You're already going to show it.
What do you mean? So is everybody that's going to that event. What are you fucking talking about? That's dumb. Everybody that's going to that event is going to play Squadron 42. Are you kidding me?
There, but that's once again, that's not. I think it's for other events, is what I'm saying. Like,
in general,
like a paid event or whatever.
Regardless, in general, that is never going to be a thing. Stop doing that. Don't be weird fans. Please stop doing that. It just makes me look worse, and I do a good enough job of that myself. Don't do that. I'm not asking any of you guys to do those things. And I said it in my video, and I'll say it here again. I guess I don't know how to say it without sounding like an egomaniac, but like they asked me, and of course I said yes. I've had the opportunity to do these things more than anybody else. I got really lucky twice, and then they never did these things again. And I spoke to Xylo in like 2018 that please don't ask me to do anything else. Give these opportunities to other people if you're going to do them. And then they never did them. So again, these opportunities are so cool. You are really a part of something really cool, and you get to see things that you will never see, and you get to see the Chris working and being Chris and all this stuff, like in an environment that you wouldn't normally see him in. And it's 3 full days, which means there's downtime, and it's like allowing everybody to be like superhuman and like just have normal conversations, and it's going to be very, 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 very cool for you. And for me, those elements were like our core memories in my life. And were like just such cool moments in my life. And now all of these people get to have those moments that I've already had. So like, I'm so excited for those people to have those things. And I don't need people going there saying I should have them again when I've already had them 10 years ago. Right? Like, come on, man. It's okay. So
on the other side, please keep advocating for CIG to do this for me, but make them pay for my flights, because that's messed up.
Yes, but not messed up right now because of the optics of it. It would look really weird to be spending backer money on flying these people out for something that is not a marketing event, right?
I've spent $3,000. That's less than a flight to Manchester.
Yeah, but it should go to a developer's salary and not your fucking flight and hotel, right? At some point, you know, spending those things on just Summit or whoever, right? Like sponsor stuff.
Do the actual creators will get a lot more eyes on it.
Yes, but
just me.
In this specific case, I think that's more problematic than paying for content creators to go to SitCon, for example. Because if a content creator is going to SitCon,
no, I think that would be way more problematic.
No, hear me out. I think there's some logic behind this, and I think you'll agree. Especially as the community grows, if they fly content creators to SitCon and pay for maybe the flight and lodging, more people will buy tickets to CitizenCon to spend time with those people. It's why Twitch does those things and stuff like that. More people buy TwitchCon tickets. The community has to grow a little bit before that's like super logical, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I think it would make sense to some extent for those reasons, right? But because it's such an exclusive thing, you pay your own way.
Nah, I still think the other one's more problematic. However, it's not.
Are you not biased? Do you think there's a little bias here at the moment?
I think you have both problematic. I think paying for people to go to conventions is way more problematic, but it's a different case. What I will say is,
I'm not saying it's not problematic either. Both are problematic.
Yeah, no, I know.
One's better than the other.
I think one is more, and I think it's the other one. But the important thing is, CIG must have known there was no chance I was going. So it actually made me like a little mad that they would like invite me like this.
They don't.
I live in Australia, bro. What the fuck?
You're a Star Citizen backer.
About?
You are. This has been the communication I've had to have with everybody lately. So I'll have it with you too and everyone else. They don't pay attention to us. They don't. The people who are in your chat are not the decision makers of who comes to these things. Xylo's not watching your streams that much to know your financial situation, right? You are a Star Citizen backer, and every Star Citizen backer has expendable income, and too much of it. They sell internet spaceships for fucking $400, dude, right? So to think like they should know, they know already who their audience is, and you're just like a blanket another person there.
They checked my pledge history. I haven't spent money in 3 years. Come on, guys.
It doesn't mean you don't have it. Right?
It was genuinely cool to be invited, but it was very much like, well, shit.
Yeah, it's got to feel shitty. And the thing is I would have pushed you to do a fundraiser for it. If
half the people in my chat have said
of course they did. Of course they did. If it wasn't your daughter's birthday. If it wasn't 100%. Your daughter's birthday, I would not have let you live this down. This entire stream would have been a fundraiser stream. Because again, I've experienced these things and it's so fucking awesome, dude. Like there's no way this NDA matters anymore. I am the first backer to ever fly an Idris. I am still the only backer to ever fly a Javelin. Like I am
Sorry, I thought you were gonna say Idris again because they're broken.
No, I've spawned in Squadron 42 characters and things like that. Like when I was at this event, there was just downtime while we were waiting for builds. I did like all sorts of goofy shit. talk to developers and they bring you over to their desk. Look at what I'm working on. And like I saw the Cutlass rework when the Cutlass was being reworked, and all it was white box and just being flown around. Like those were like just, I can't remember what I ate yesterday, but I'll never forget that stuff. So for me,
100%.
I would have wanted you to have those things, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, like I'll never forget that stuff. So I want you to have that. So yeah, if it wasn't your daughter's birthday, I would not be letting you live this down. I don't care how much it would cost. We're doing a fundraiser.
It got me excited too. I was like, oh man, PAX Australia is that month. It's on the exact same weekend.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So no chance anything's happening there either.
No. But yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
In general, here's how we need to end this. We have Squadron 42 news.
Yeah.
They said something, people.
It is tangible
it's
stuff.
It's happening.
Implies some type of campaign starting.
Yes. Like, there's no way that... I'm going to eat these words. There's no way that it's like, going to get delayed for 2 more years kind of thing. Like, they're going with this thing. You know what I mean? They're going with this thing.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's very, very exciting. Like, there's so much stupid drama about like who was invited and who's not invited.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares, people? It's Squadron 42. It's happening. Like that has to be the takeaway here. I just feel like I have to defend myself because people were saying I was crying and all these things in like this video that I made. And the video I was making was to like, I'm the old guy. I've been here forever. Lots of people who didn't get invited messaged me and were really upset. And I had to explain to them that, like, guys, you not getting what matters to a content creator? Views. You going to this event, if anything, you're going to do like a travel vlog and no one's going to care. Number one. Number two, if anybody cares, they're going to care for 5 minutes and it's not going to create any growth for you anyway. This is not what this is about. Right. And if anything, like, just use this to motivate you to get more views. Cause like, that's what that's really what you're searching for here. And like, don't take this, it's how you handle the not being invited, is what will decide whether or not you get invited to the next thing. So if you're like going on Spectrum and here and crying and all this stuff, like, they're not going to invite you to anything now, number one. And number two, your audience sees that. What are they going to think about you and all that stuff? Like, you get to be home and cover it while the people are there. And maybe it is an open thing and you get to share that with, like, there's so many just positive things here and everybody just focused on the negative. And I know this is me saying that, but again, I feel really strongly about this. I've already experienced these things.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
Like,
Go have
like
fun.
You said, yeah, there is a bigger
cheer on the
piece
people
of
who are
news
going.
There's a much bigger piece of news in it than content creators are going to Manchester.
Yeah. Like, there's literal streamers that have like 30 to 50 viewers that are going to this thing. And that's fucking sick. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's dope as hell.
That's got to feel amazing to them. Right? And it would feel just as amazing to me. But it's like, wow, they noticed me. And then there's people who are like, wow, they don't notice me. Right? So that's the negative part about it. But, or maybe they did. So it is what it is. Like, for me, they noticed me and they saw what they needed to see. And I'm obviously not going to go to those things, and it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I just I made that video to try to help and to really celebrate and help the people who are going to know maybe what to expect as well.
Yeah.
And to like take advantage of this. Yeah. So
definitely.
Yeah. Exciting. I don't know if we have callers or not.
Cool.
Do we?
I see 2.
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. And if you want to call in the future and ask, hey, CIG, why didn't I get invited to the content creator thing? Go to the description below, head into the green room in Discord, and we'll bring you in. If you're over on Twitch, go !podcast, follow the link, and do the same.
Sweet. All right, we got one more. We'll take the 3 and then call it, and we'll keep them pretty short. All right. Ultimate Penguin, what's up, man? Did you get in? Are you going to Manchester?
I also had to turn it down.
Ah, damn, dude.
Really?
Yeah, they saw me and my $40 pledge.
Dude, epic fucking first call. Let's go.
Yeah.
They got they sent out the fishing hooks. And I
So, what do you want to talk about, man?
I actually wanted to talk about uh gold sinks and also material sinks now that I've put more time into this patch.
All right.
Sure.
Uh
Keep it around like
well, I kn-
5-ish minutes though.
okay. I
Try
I don't
to.
even know what sinks are possible because they keep going away from more money. Uh because I originally thought material quality refining was going to be a massive gold sink and material sink.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing Croncy was really pushing for, and yeah.
It just made so much sense, and I'm not now that that's gone, I don't even know what material sinks are possible, and now that insurance doesn't like, if you die, you don't lose your upgraded items or nothing happens to them.
Yep.
You just pay a tiny
yeah.
fee.
Maybe that fee won't
Well,
be
it's like, yeah.
tiny, but that's really all they
Yeah.
have, right? And that's why
Mhm.
I keep saying like and I'll try to keep this super short. The Every time you think about their absolutely, and I'm just gonna say it's brain dead insurance system. There's so many holes in it that you have to go and be like, dude, ships need to explode. They need
Mhm.
to, like, these things need to die. Everything needs to die or be able to be stolen in order for everything to make sense. Because everything
Yeah.
else is like, again, this like weird band-aid to try to solve this problem by them not allowing things to die. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that has to be the sink. And I think they'll get to that idea in 10 years when they finally give up on trying to make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it seemed like that was their original pitch with this whole system, and then they keep cutting away from what was originally there, and it rubbed me the wrong way because they keep talking about making it frictionless. And I think that's such a wrong way to look at a game, especially if you want death to matter, like the whole death of a spaceman thing they've been talking about
You
for
can't
however
say
many.
risk and reward and not have friction.
Yeah.
And I think like the way they people talk about friction is weird because there's good friction in games. Like I think like a good definition of good friction is it forces a player to engage with system mechanics in more meaningful ways, and there are
Mhm.
rewards there for doing so.
Do you have any
Mhm.
examples of like what like games that you've played?
Oh, Dragon's Dogma 2, I
Okay.
think is awesome. That has 2, teleportation, but I think the health system is much easier to explain.
Sure.
Whenever you or your party members get hit, a percentage of that damage you cannot recover. Your max health goes down
Mhm.
until you either get travel all the way to a safe town and rest and pay money in an inn, and then time moves forward and quests can expire, or you use a super expensive and rare healing item. And I think we can all agree losing max health sucks. That's friction.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
if you're
Can I
now
jump in?
carefully observing your okay, sure.
Because that's actually something they've described. So it's I forgot the name of the system, but as things take damage and as they get repaired, that they or as they
Durability.
get used, I think it was durability, right? As they
Mhm.
get used, the durability will go down and their functionality will go down with that durability.
Yeah.
But then they put this caveat in that there may be ways for you to increase it all the way to the top. Because the whole idea, I think, was durability would reduce the functionality to zero. And then when it hits
Mhm.
zero, it's dead. And then you have to replace it. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard any of that. So I figured I'd jump in and be like, hey, this kind of does exist in their paper napkin
Yeah,
In the
but
things that they've
theories,
said.
yeah.
that
Yeah.
was just in the system that they have now constantly cut away from and are walking
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
from, right?
Yep.
I don't know if that's something they've cut away from because that was really recent when they were
Uh-huh.
talking about the durability and stuff. It's just obviously like you have to cut away from it in the short term because otherwise you're not going to get
Mhm.
any of these systems in place. And so it because of that can also make like the long-term goals of certain mechanics not make sense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a problem. It's not good. But like it sort of goes back to the whole thing of like what mechanics are being future proofed, what ones aren't, so that we can get the bigger idea of it, right? Obviously right now it doesn't work, but like will this one stay the same and work? Or are all of these getting reworked? correct. You know, that's.
I'm so parasocial about this stuff. Like this, do you know what this feels like? It feels like Chris Roberts or Richard Tyrer or somebody like that is like really stuck in their ways and about like this feature, and then all the other devs are like scrambling to try to figure out a way to just make it work, even though they know it can't.
Yeah, like
That's what it feels like.
When they announced
I agree with that, yeah.
quality, I originally thought that was going to be a great system, but it was going to suck until we got a couple of key features.
Yeah.
But then they keep announcing, oh, well, this key feature's gone. And it feels like they had a big plan at the bottom that like the people who play the game and make the game are like, we know what's going to be good.
Yep.
And then someone up top went, I don't like that one part of it, but like that's key.
Yeah, like we need item item quality, and then they just kind of like didn't do anything else with it, and it's like very goofy and weird, and it feels like we don't even need it.
System originally was very defensible and had a lot of upsides to it, but then the more you take away from it, the worse it feels, because it was always going to be the worst possible experience at the start when none of it was implemented.
Yeah, which is like Tier 0 item recovery comes in, and I'm like, all right, this is stupid, but it's temporary.
Yeah.
That's okay. But now we're getting to the point where like they seem to be making the permanent solutions, and they don't feel good. Like obviously they're not fully implemented, but like we're getting pieces of these permanent things, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah, and if you have like the thing with if you build like a really nice quality gun, but then it just breaks over time, and the only way to fix it is to like hope and pray you find a really high quality rock, that sucks. But if you have to like work really hard or spend a lot of money, but it's a guaranteed way of maintaining it, that is a perfectly fine system.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see what it because like it's also not necessarily a bad system to like have that be the thing, right? Like you've got your 900 quality P4 or whatever, and it's starting to degrade because you're like me and you just keep dying with this fucking P4.
Or you miss every shot, so you have to use more bullets.
Yeah,
like
exactly right. But it's like you get to the point where it's like degraded enough where you don't want to risk bringing it out again without, you know, fixing it. And so then you start to bring out your 800 quality ones. You start to bring out your 700 quality ones. That in the current system would then give like reasons for those to also be crafted, which is like also a good thing. So it could be fine.
Again, I'll go. Yeah, see, but like I'll go back to it last week. I'll go back to what we talked about last week. Like it could be fine. Is not good enough, guys. Like we have to. We can't. Like this is this thing that Star Citizens do is they want to love the game so much, and they don't want to offend the developer that like came up with the ideas or whatever. That they're afraid to say like just do it better. There's a better idea here, and this one sucks. And that's okay. Like, that's the whole point of the alpha right now. Is like, I don't think we should ever go, it might be okay. Because that's not what this project was ever about, being just okay. It was about being fucking awesome. And it seems like at some point, it's an alpha, it's just okay. We've just like become accepting of those things. The it's an alpha part, obviously. But now we're getting out of the it's an alpha part and starting to really build the game, and like the it's just okay. And again, this isn't towards you, Croncy. This is a thing we all do, including myself. We got to get away from that. We got to start changing our mentality.
To be fair, my it could be okay is I don't know how game dev works, and I don't know if this would be good or bad.
Fair enough. But I also think people accept subpar dog shit with this company way too much as in terms of like
very
ideas.
Well-trained community.
Yeah, they're very well trained, and I got in trouble for that yesterday because I think that this event thing was just like a thank you to some of the community members, creators and non-creators, and people in the community as like we're about to start this thing. Thank you for being along on the ride with us. And I said it was like kind of like they're like training dogs in the sense of like giving you a treat for doing something good and then not giving the people who did something bad not that treat. And then somebody went on some tirade saying I called streamers trained dogs. Like fuck off.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Got him.
So I can't.
Yeah.
It's been more than 5 minutes, so last point.
All right. Last point. Again, good friction. You have to be able to interact with the system to negate it, and also
Yeah.
material quality. High quality ore is the one thing you can't buy on the pledge store.
Yet.
Not the one thing. There needs to be more than one thing.
Yeah.
What else?
But yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yes. Bye now.
Awesome. All right.
Great
Cheers,
call,
Penguin.
dude.
Have a good one.
All right. Jaden is our next call.
How we doing, Jaden?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up?
Good.
I think my live stream was a little delayed. Anyways, I was just coming in. I can kind of build on what the previous guy said, but also thanks for having me.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
The big thing in the tech talk that nobody's talked about is Benoit said that they completely overhauled LTP in 4.8.
True. I forgot about that.
We
one.
knew about that.
We
And
knew they were doing it.
So that was talked about during the monthly report for last month.
Yeah.
Long-term persistence had a bunch of updates, and it was my theory that caused all the problems. According to Benoit, that was not the case. It was coincidental that they happened at the same time.
But, in traditional vague citizen style, they didn't go into everything that's supposed to save now. And so building on his money sinks and stuff like that, they're trying to build a system, like they were talking about the friction of item quality degrading. I mean, all they're doing is copy pasting Star Wars Galaxies from 20 years ago on almost everything with this crafting system. And in theory, that works great. But if nothing persists, if every 2 months we have a patch and the crafting materials and your crafted stats and everything else disappear, everything is built on long-term persistence. And so that's a really big deal if what he says was going to stay in the video a couple days ago actually stays. Now, the one thing he didn't mention is crafting materials. And so it's like, it would be really nice if they would give us a little more detail.
I mean, to be fair, he was like, I never want you to lose anything that you don't want to lose, is like their initiative. So hopefully that includes crafting materials.
But yeah, I mean, they said Wicklow ship should stay now. Executive hangar ship should stay. They specifically mentioned that crafted stats should stay.
Yeah.
But what about crafting materials? Because crafting materials is way more of a time sink than anything else. And so if they want to have these friction systems where stuff degrades built upon the idea of crafting, well, then it sure would be nice if our crafting materials stayed.
Yeah.
Because right now, I don't know if they're gonna. So it's like, why would you even partake in it?
We don't know, but you gotta hope for the best there. Otherwise, why even bother playing? Which is kind of why I don't play right now. I think if they stay in 4.9, it'll be like kind of a signal to be like, ooh, okay.
I have probably 10
grind.
guys in my org that are not playing right now because they don't know if those things are going to stay. And they're going to if all of a sudden it does, they're going to have a mass influx of people, and then servers are just going to be terrible again.
It's good testing for them to get it nailed down. I mean, think about what the servers will look like at 1.0. Because that's no matter if the game is good. Like, let's say 1.0 is literally just as broken as it is today. If they slap 1.0 on there, that is a signal to so many people to try it that it's just going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
No matter if you tell them and warn them, they're still going to try it.
The beauty is that if this LTP change is what we hope it is, it's actually the basis for the game for the first time to actually be truly functional, where you can play and leave for a month and come back and actually have the things that you did before. Whereas, I mean, before 4.8, even though we had a wipe, every single patch, every single piece of armor, every weapon, every ship component I looted out of QV stations, poofed every patch.
Yep.
Every single
all your not crafting materials, but commodities, lots of things. Yeah, so you're right. You're 100% right. There's no arguments against what you're saying.
It would be really nice if they would, do like a post where they come in and explain things and be like, these are the things that are supposed to stay. Let us know if they don't. But he just it was like a 3-minute thing where he kind of talked about it and then they just dropped it. And that's the biggest news of the entire tech talk.
For you. But it is, I'm not saying it's not big.
So.
And also, it wasn't news, was my thing, is they talked about it during the monthly report. The only news that I got out of it was like, yeah, the things that I thought busted because of that were apparently not because of that.
Yeah.
I
so-
didn't see it in the patch
I
notes,
would-
so.
Well, it's long-term persistence stuff like that in the back end. Usually they won't put in the patch notes. Occasionally they'll put it in like a patch watch.
I could speak
something
on
like
that a little bit. I
Yeah.
think in the 4.9 Evo notes towards the top or tech preview or something, one of the notes, it's like going forward, the testing focus is LTP between patches.
Yeah, so that's a relevant thing.
That's like a relevant thing to see in Evo because that's not normally there. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I don't think that's normally there. Like, is LTP holding between patches in a testing focus? So that's something to think about.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it'll be really cool if crafted
we'll see.
stats stay and crafting materials stay, because that'll be the first time the game is more of a game in a long time. That's actual progression.
I mean, the first time since like around the 320s, we had a lot of patches where like things were mostly persist, but we also didn't have Wicklow, we didn't have crafting or anything like that. So all it was just like looted items and money, and that's kind of all that mattered.
Yeah.
Now like there is way more progress in the game now, so you feel it a lot more when you lose it.
There's more things to do, so it's really frustrating when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or is unfun.
It'll be cool to see. Hopefully 4.9 hits and the crafting stuff stays, because then that's like game actually has real progression that you can count on. Well, in theory, unless they break it the next patch.
Cool. Well, all right, Jaden, is there anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right, man.
Lovely.
We'll catch you later,
thanks
dude.
very much for the call.
Bye, dude. Oh, I thought he was done.
Have a good.
Have a good. All right, and our last caller is Mr. Spoom. Mr. Spoom. Or Spoome.
Mr. Spoom, how are we doing? We are currently muted.
Hey, sorry.
All good.
Way behind.
Yep.
But
What would you like to talk about?
I don't know where you guys ended last time, but I definitely want to compare this game to other MMOs because I am an actual MMO player.
What? You're a unicorn in this community.
One of the few. There's not much left. Not many of
No.
us left. I mean, I followed Ashes of Creation really closely and played it actually a good bit. Yeah, I know. Rest in peace.
Sorry, dude.
I mean, let's be honest. If you've been around these long enough, you know how these projects go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
I knew
hope
when I gave the
doesn't
money
happen
that
to
it was
SE.
probably gonna disappear. The fact that it
Yeah, I
hasn't
wouldn't-
happened to SE is a surprise.
Yeah, I hope you guys make it to the end here. I mean, I follow all these Kickstarter projects. Like, I think I like games that aren't released more than I like finished games at this point.
I think most of us do, unfortunately. But that's more because most
yeah.
games aren't released anymore. They're just this is how they do
I
it.
think there was this period, I think it was like 2011, Daisy came out as like a standalone game built by an indie developer from Arma that was like a PTU, like a test universe type game. And then just the entire of the 2010s was how many times can we do this? How many times can we make games before making them and sell them?
Yeah, siphon money before
they
we
went
even
crazy.
finish the product.
Yeah, they all went crazy, right?
To be fair, some of them did turn out like pretty solid because they had a test space before the game came out. So like,
it was not a bad thing. It's just like there's this like almost like historical moment that you can sort of track, and then about like 10 years or so, where it became like the main focus of a lot of game dev for a while.
Yep, and then
like early
Kickstarter
access.
happened, and
But it needs to actually, come out of early access. You can't just like the new Arma, the one or the Daisy that actually came out. Is it even out of early access yet?
Yeah.
They did actually
but like
finish it.
it's way less fun.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But H1Z1, PUBG, Tarkov is probably the most like common example at the moment, just because it recently had a 1.0, right? All of those sort of things. So anyway, continue. Star Citizen.
Yeah, okay. I was going to compare it. The things in Ashes, I actually did like, and I know a lot of people probably. I followed the game really closely. I probably played it a good 60 hours, which I was not expecting, by the way. I thought I was going to get in and fucking hate it. Like, I was not expecting to actually.
No,
like
it
the
was
game at
solid.
all. Yeah, but one of the things was mining, which is something that they made a couple iterations on, and it actually turned out pretty nice. Is what they did originally was they had the rare nodes, so you'd have to search for the rare nodes, which nobody liked because what happened was just became a PvP fest around rare mining nodes. So then they
Yep.
changed it. to
Oh, were
where
they
the
like
rocks-
static as well? It's like always
Yeah.
in
Yes,
this
no, it was
location?
Yeah.
awful.
Oh.
Like if you type in
Yeah, I don't like
static
that.
mining ashes of creation, you'll just probably find 50 Reddit posts of people complaining
Yeah,
about it. But after they changed it to where now, and I know SaltEMike might not like this as much, but it was a random proc on what quality resource you got, which, it was iffy at first, but I actually really liked it because you got to do what you wanted to do. And how you mitigated the RNG is you used specific tools. One gave you more of the resource, one gave you a rare of the resource, one made you mine faster. So there was options to make it to where you had, different procs, which I think would be a great,
Yeah.
middle ground for this because if they want Star Citizen to be an MMO, it has to be grindy.
Yes, and people
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
The some of the fucking people in this community don't want to accept that, but they're gonna have to, or they'll want to pay to skip it, and hopefully they don't let them do that. But the question that I have for you, because I do think I know this system, is if you go up to an iron node, you're getting iron, but then the proc is potentially like a ruby or a gem that drops, and it's something
Yeah.
like rare. Okay, why
Well-
would I hate that? Because you're not dropping. You're still getting iron that you need, and then you're also getting the thing that you're excited about. In Star Citizen's case, it's I'm looking for iron. I found iron. Iron bad. Need to skip iron.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
right?
what Quantanium used to be back in the day, where it's like you never really look like a while ago now, but it's like you weren't looking for Quantanium. You were looking for like the relatively decent priced minerals, which maybe you spend 10 minutes looking for. So it wasn't as egregious as it is now. And then occasionally you'd come up against a Quantanium
It was
deposit
like
and you'd go for
jackpot.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit closer to that, I guess.
I'm totally fine with doing something like that. But in that sense, it would require removing quality, I think.
Well, I mean, how they had it was common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. I think
Sure.
for their resource qualities, which I think would just be way better. That means you have 5, not like 900.
We currently have
now
8.
have like 5.
We have 8.
Yeah.
Oh, they changed it. I
Yes.
haven't caught up with that.
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah, so
That's good,
numbers
'cause-
are now static
They're in, like,
within,
brackets.
like the type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like an
So, like-
inventory nightmare. So
Yeah. They resolved
Yeah,
that.
so it's like I don't know the numbers, but it's like iron, like high quality iron will always be like
917
and
is one of them.
there you go.
917, I
Yeah.
think.
it'll always be 917. So you'll never have like a 918 and a 916 and a 920 in your inventory.
Nope. It's the iron in this bracket is of 900 to 950 is 917. But in reality, I think what he's asking for is I see iron node and I upgrade my ship and I upgrade my mining laser and I upgrade my gadgets and I upgrade my modules to say when I mine that iron node, I have a better chance of getting 917 or 958.
it's a progression route.
I think that of all the people who have made suggestions for mining, you have made the most logical suggestion to maintain quality and make this less shit. And there has been so much talk about this, and no one has said this once, I don't think. And if you did, I am bad at reading, so don't blame me.
Yeah, because this
Well, Ash has
suggestion
had
that
a
you're
good
giving, like, sorry, just very quickly, this suggestion that you're making means we are mining more than we are scanning. That's
Exactly.
It means you're just mining. Now, the other solution has to be, like, that's why I think quality is kind of ass, is what do you do with the shitty quality stuff?
Exactly, that's what I was about to say.
Let's
That
go.
was my next suggestion. Was there needs to be a sync. Right now, credits are just they're just awful. Like or what's it in the game? Sorry, I've been playing Warframe. Is it credits and
Yeah, it's credits.
Yeah,
It's
United
UEC,
Earth
but-
credits,
yeah.
UEC.
So they're just not. They need to like let players determine the value a little bit more because right now it's just awful. Like it's been awful. Every time I play, it's awful. I can afford nothing from the community and only afford items from shops because there's so much inflation that the players just don't value credits anymore because it's like a side currency to their actual like resources.
Yeah.
But what you can do is if they actually want to make a player run economy and not whatever we have now, is for whenever you go to a station to repair and when they eventually add base building, these lower quality materials can be thrown into kind of a general forge and sold to different stations based on how much they need them to repair people's ships. So you do some
Yeah.
degree of, mixing the materials together, but it'd be like a pool of materials, 4 repair materials for your bases and for your ships. And it would be the base level stuff that everyone always needs to maintain their things.
You were doing so
there's
good.
also the no. I think
I don't like this
there's
one.
still like sure. I don't think it's necessarily too bad. But what I will say is like you made me think of a thing. It's like most MMOs as well will have like gray items that you pick up, which are like in the process of you doing your random grinding, yeah, your inventory bags start filling up with absolute garbage that isn't usable by the player, but is just vendorable. And sometimes they're worth a decent amount of money, but they're just not worth it for your crafting. They're not worth it to other players and whatnot. And so you still get, you feel like you get value out of it. Now, obviously, it goes back to the other thing of like credits mean nothing right now, but hopefully one day credits will mean something.
Yeah,
if you
but
do
if
stuff like
my point is this would be a material supplied by players. So like if one station is lacking it, then they can bring that over. So it would at least have a purpose. Because yeah, even in Ashes, you'd vendor off, and Ashes crafting was not great. They wanted to
Sure.
iterate on it before the game went under too. So we'll never get to take that venture from them. But
I'm sure they
I
want to
mean,
do a lot of things
because they didn't have a sync for
Don't
the
worry,
basic
Steven's gonna get
resources-
it back. It's all gonna be okay. Just give it time. I believe.
They had no sync for the basic resource in that game either. So to like craft a sword, you needed like 900 different of them like material. It was like and they all had like money sinks in them too because they had no real good money sinks either. And the trade packs gave so much like base money in the game. And then there was like extreme botting too, which is also the game had problems. That's not in question. But that was just an idea I had. There just needs somewhere that players always need for these basic materials to go, because mining is the bottom.
Yep. Mining and salvage, but yes.
Yeah, because salvage just like isn't a part of it right now.
I mean, they can just make the prices to craft ships extremely high of basic materials and then just add it to where the components and the weapons are what you need for higher quality stuff and not just the whole of the ship. But then, making that huge ship with all that super expensive quality is less satisfying.
Yeah, but even then, like you are describing like kind of already a fix you've proposed, which is just like having demand for those.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's all it needs.
If you have less materials, there'll be more demand for all. I don't know why we just like. I think they're just going to eventually have to remove quality because I just don't think it's going to work. But we'll see. I don't know. Because I keep going.
Or just change it fundamentally.
Like in RuneScape, the low quality shit used for XP. That's what the value comes from.
Isn't okay? Fine, but isn't there this like? I'm going just from like a way it feels thing of if you only have so much inventory space and I'm using it for XP, but it's a super strong balancing act where the XP value has to then equal the value of the things that you actually want to keep, or you end up throwing it on the ground or skipping it. Like you're trying to avoid like scanning a rock and skipping. Like if you come across an iron node and you want iron, you have to create a situation where that player is mining that iron. And I think the best way to do it is to just have iron be iron and have carbon be carbon. And the upgrade in quality is when they become steel. But we have no progression, so they have to do more than that. So it's like, I know my idea is too simple. I know my idea is too simple, but I can't get past it.
I'm just going to add one more cog that could be turned in there, which is like the other thing that they could mess around with to solve this is make scanning nowhere near as tedious and somehow more of an interesting gameplay.
I actually like mining in the game, all right. Scanning is just awful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mining's kind of cool, but
Mike said it before, the breaking the rocks, like going up to one and it's saying, oh, you can't do this, is the worst feeling.
Why would you do that? Yeah, why would you do that? Like, again,
cool, rare material, can't get it.
So you buy a mole. That's why they do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I swear, somebody sits there and is like, oh. No, nope. That little ship is nope. You got to make it so they want the big one. I know that's not the case. I know it's just.
Yeah, I don't know what
things
they
happen.
seem all over the place with that stuff. I just wish they have those like things that attach to the rocks. And once again, I would be absolutely fine getting out of my ship and tying it to the rock if it makes me able to break it.
Yep. I think you
but
should
they
just
don't
I
use
mean,
that.
yeah, sometimes it does.
like I know my idea of I fire a laser on the rock, it's extracting material the entire time, and the better your ship is, or the better your laser is, or the more effort you put in, the more of that material you get, or the higher quality you get, or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, progression.
Yeah, like
Progression
I
to
know
some
that's better.
degree.
It is so much more satisfying to fly up to a rock and instantly start extracting from it
Yep.
hmm
than this whole song and dance. It's so stupid.
Two very
Especially
quick things.
when I just one really quick thing for me.
Yeah,
Especially
sorry.
when in a lot of other mechanics in the game, you can get into the action immediately.
Salvaging, for example.
If
Yeah.
salvaging, FPS gameplay, ship gameplay, even if cargo gameplay makes you really excited, guess what? Same thing. You can get it just straight away, right into it.
Yeah.
Mining's like one of the only things where it's like, before you do this, how
Yeah.
about you spend 20 minutes not having fun?
More and a lot more than that, unfortunately, in a lot of
Yeah.
cases now. But yeah, go ahead, because
Sorry,
we
go
got to
ahead.
start wrapping it up.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been here forever, but I went down the rabbit hole of mining and economy.
So did we. Hey, that's
Yeah.
gonna make your call longer than ever because I'm never gonna shut up when.
Well, I
you
mean,
do
that's
that.
the MMO part of the MMO. Like, we need
You're
the,
right.
like, literally the most fun part of MMOs for me is the economy. That's what I like.
Yep.
I like to trade. In Ashes of Creation, I'd buy stuff from one town, travel it all the way across the map, sell it for literally like triple what it was there. And then there was PvP risk along the way too, which is fun. Except the exploiters kind of ruined that too.
Yeah.
So it made
Not
it a
gonna
little more
lie,
difficult.
Yeah.
Level Cap has one of the best mining like things in his game that's coming out. It's so good.
I haven't seen his,
um,
but I peeked at it a long time ago. Has he made progress?
Oh yeah, he's got a publisher and everything. It's definitely making progress.
I was
Probably
gonna
come out
say
before SC.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Spoon, I'm not surprised that like that's what you're into, because like with the economy and stuff, because it's so much more fun instead of like killing someone in their ship to tank the thing that they're trying to sell, and I undersell them and I make all the money.
Arcade was the best because someone would have a huge ship full of rare trade packs going, and depending
Yep.
on where you traded it, you got different resources too. So they'd go to the pirate island in the center of the ocean, and you'd get like a premium currency for trading it. So my god, the PvP there was probably the most fun I've ever had in a video game.
Yeah,
Just having like hundreds of even when it lagged horribly because there's so many people. But the last two things I wanted to say is RuneScape actually had a fix for that like money sink thing where you drop stuff on the items or on the ground, all the items on the ground. Is they have the alchemy system, which actually keeps stuff kind of steady in the market even where there's bots, which is why their economy works when it's so easy to bot in RuneScape. So if something gets too expensive, people can buy it and then just turn it straight into money. And I mean, it's not a perfect fix, but when there's a ton of botting, it keeps stuff kind of stable. So you get less money on average from alchemy. But if stuff was getting way too expensive, like base level equipment, you'd buy it and then you'd turn it straight into gold.
And then that starts to tank the price, I guess.
Yeah, that'll make it to where, okay, the price is getting too high. Players are going to start buying it now because... Or they stop buying it because they don't get money on alchemy. But if it gets too low because of inflation, then they alchemy it and make more than they lost from buying it. So it's the other way around, sorry.
Yeah.
But last thing RuneScape does well is, I don't know why SC doesn't take inspiration from this, but RuneScape's wildy system, you like pick 3 items you get to keep when you go into the wildy. And I think that's like a perfect middle ground.
It used to be 0, right?
Was it? It must have been a long
back
time
when
ago.
I was playing in like 2005. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that
my
when it was,
brother
like,
played on
2D?
launch?
No, that was not when it was still 2D. That's RuneScape. What you are referring to is RuneScape 1. RuneScape 2, the best RuneScape, also known as now old school RuneScape, although before a bunch of updates. Best RuneScape.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
talking old
wasn't there
school.
a point where it was all PvP? Like the entire planet had PvP?
No, just the wilderness.
No, just the wilderness.
But like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think their method of fixing that was great. The whole just you pick 3 items.
Hell yeah.
When you die, these are what you keep. So now you get to use the equipment you worked hard for. It's not some preset rule, and then those get returned.
I'm keeping my
everything
mining
else,
laser,
everything
my
else is
quantum
gone.
drive,
Yeah, exactly,
and my
exactly.
FPS weapon.
Yeah, if you have
Worth noting
something
as
you
well
really
though,
wanna
like
keep.
if you have any money in that game, you also drop that and lose that, right? So like
Well, be careful
It's-
because some untradeable items are worth less than 1 gold according to the game. So you'll die in the wilderness with a really hard to get item, and then it will keep your 1 gold coin over that item.
ruined.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right, we'll probably leave it there because we started talking about
Yeah,
RuneScape. Yeah, thanks very much for the call, Spoon. We appreciate it. Lots
problem.
of
Nice
interesting
talking.
ideas and stuff, and yeah.
Yes, Boom. That was fun. We got to talk some more
Yeah, it's fun
sometime.
talking about economy.
Hell
I
yeah.
will probably be back. I was here one other time like a half a year ago.
Nice.
Where we were
Come back
probably
soon.
talking about the economy.
Yeah, see you next time.
Catch
Bye,
you later.
Ben. I know that was fun. I can go
Yeah.
on forever with that stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the end of our show. My wife just got home too, so perfect timing. And yeah, so again, can we take away the right things from this week, please, and not the stupid negative things? Squadron 42 news is absolutely amazing and very exciting. And there's nothing else to say other than that. Don't be a salty bitch about people getting invited to things that you didn't get invited to. You'll get your chance, especially if you're a content creator, to have opportunities that other people don't get to have. You're in a unique position compared to 5 million people in the community. Stop being an idiot about it, and be excited for this company and this game to hopefully take a huge step forward for where it needs to go. Hopefully. Who knows? Could
Yeah,
be a
keep in mind, guys, the
disaster.
game's not going to work in the 80s. In October. It'll be fine.
But like, have the right mentality on this. It's ridiculous to be angry about something like not getting picked for
and more important, get
kickball
excited
team.
for 4. Get
You know?
excited for 4.9. I imagine we'll be talking a lot about it next week. Presumably, we'll get a Wave 1 PTU. And if Siege is in fact getting delayed, I'm sure we'll get news about that this week as well. So
yeah, sweet. So all right, everybody, I got to get ready for hockey. So make sure you hit the follow button. Check Croncy and myself out. I took a little break from SC this week, but I should be back fairly soon. We'll see. I don't know. I might just play Valheim for the next month. Who cares? And then yeah, so we'll be covering this again next week. I think really we need to be looking out big time 2 weeks from now. The next roadmap update of what 4.9 will actually be. We'll have to see. But yeah, so I think next week we'll probably be covering a lot more of what 4.9 is and PTU and stuff like that. So check us out if you guys haven't yet. And I don't know. Anything you want to say before we head out, Croncy?
only one thing, Mike. Don't forget.
I dropped my phone. I got it. I found it. To answer the call. Bye, everyone. Oh, no. I have to click the button. Where do we go?
This is a disaster.
My phone literally rang, too, when I picked it up.
Shit, Mike. Answer the call.